everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela. Lovely to have you guys spend some time on Sunday with me to put together a quick little project that we're going to put into our journal. As you know, I'm working on my bakery journal, but this little project would make a great happy mail and also fit into any journal really. So come and have a look and see what I've done. Now I've made one for you already. So let's have a look at that. So this is what I've made. It is a really quick project, and as I say, I think it would make a great happy mail for people. What I've got here is a little notebook. I'm using it in my recipe journal, so it's for writing out some of my recipes that I've picked up off my Facebook group, and of course your family favorite recipes or anything like that. So it's not really meant to tear out, but of course you could use it for other purposes. Lovely to journal on. I've got a couple of tea stain pages I've stuck in over here. Put on some little details, some lace, and then I've also got a little pocket that I have got at the back here. I've got a journal card on here, but of course you can put any recipe or secret recipe perhaps that you want to store into the side here. Now I'm going to put this into my actual journal. It's pretty slim, so that's always good. And I'll show you here. I've put my journal to the side just to show you. That's what we did last time. And I'm turning over the pages here, and we are going to be working on this page here. I think this is the middle page here, just the other side of it, and I thought that would look really great stuck into our journal over here like that. So that's what I'm going to do with that today. So like every Sunday, I try and do a quick and easy project. We're not using an envelope, funny enough. I'm using a piece of paper, so any piece of paper will work. I do use 160 GSM thickness of paper, so that's double the copy weight, usual weight of 80 grams. But of course, if you're working in pound weight, you're looking at about 60 to 65 pound weight there if you're over in America or Canada or that side. All right, so that's what I'm using for my paper here. So I'm just going to put that to the side there, and let's get started. Right, so the first sheet of paper that I grabbed was my background paper with all the recipes that I have, and I do like using this one a lot. Now, I'm going to give you the measurements which you can use for both the US size and the A4 size. This was an A4 sheet of paper, but what I have done is I've taken it lengthwise. So an A4 is 11 3/4 inches long, a US is 11, but on the length side I want you to cut that down to 8.5 inches in length, or 21.5 centimeters. So you're chopping off a bit of the length of the paper. This is the width of the paper, and for an A4 it comes standard as an 8.25 inch, but for the US you'd need to trim that down to 8.25. You don't have to, because it doesn't it's not crucial, but if you're wanting to make the exact same size I'm making, that's what I've done. Right, I have also measured 1.5 inches, which we'll do again in a sec. So 1.5 inches from the top, or 4 centimeters. You know, moving it down to the 7-inch mark really. I've just made a fold line here. All right, I will get to fold that in a moment, but those are the measurements for the page. So you're looking at 8.5 inches by 8.25, almost a square, or 21.5 centimeters by 21. All right, so that's what we are looking at here. Now all I want you to do is fold this along the lengthwise, the longer piece. So we're going to fold it along here like that, and we're going to just use our something just to make sure it's really nice and folded. All right, now you if you've got your fold line marked here, that's great. As I always say, use your bone folder or a butter knife and your ruler, and just make it you know, put it in there. The reason I'm doing that is I'm going to fold on it in a moment, but I'm taking my glue stick and I'm going to use it as a guide so I can see where that fold line is, and I just want to run my glue stick, any glue will do, but I'm just putting glue on that top flap there. And the reason is, when you fold it over, if you don't glue this flap first, it sort of moves out of alignment, and I don't want it to do that. So now I'm able to just check here that I have actually got it spot on, and everything is nicely lined up, which it is. And then I can just run my bone folder over that top section there. Okay, so now we've got that, just that top section you've glued. This bit you are not gluing. All right, so that's what we've got there. Right, so while I'm waiting for that just to sort of set a little bit, I'm just taking my inking, my ink. I'm using the Vintage Photo, which is Distress Oxide, because it's slightly lighter, and for pastels I don't really want it to be too dark, so I'm just very lightly putting inking on the edge here. Of course, you don't have to ink, or you can make it as grungy as you like. It's all up to you, really. Okay, so we've got that done there. And now I want to fold along this line, so I'm going to just take the ruler again. I can see the line, but I just want to make it, because I've glued it, I want to just ensure that it's you know, nice and firm there now. And now I'm going to just use my nails and just get that over, line it up as close as to the edge as possible, and then just make sure that you get that nice and burnished there, like that. All right, so we've got everything as we want it now. So that's that point there. Now with this inner bit here, you can actually just take your Distress ink. I did think of reinforcing these edges, but then I thought, well, no, I'm not going to worry with it. I'm just going to, the paper is nice and thick, but you could always take a little strip of the paper you've trimmed off here and just stick it along there to make sure these edges are nice and strong, which is what I like to generally do, but I'm not doing that at the moment. Right, so we've got this here. This is going to be a pocket. We are going to stick in our pages now, so let me just talk you through how I did that. Let me grab them here behind me. What I did was I took this is my own tea stain paper. If you don't have tea stain paper, I do have a tea stain digital called Tea Stain Avo and Lace Sheets. I use it all the time. You could print them out as well, so it just depends. If you do your own, then that's great. Coffee stain paper would work just as well. So what I've done is I've cut these out, and if you have a look, let me take the top off and put that on the bottom. I've just got that to keep them together. I've taken 2 sheets of paper. I measured a little gap that was just either side there. So the width of this is 9 centimeters, or 3 and just over 3.5 inches. All right, so that's what it is, just that I've got a bit of a gap there. And then when you fit it up to the very top here, like that, and you push the flap over, you can see you've got a little bit of a gap at the bottom as well. All right, so the length of this was 17 centimeters, and if I do that, I think it's 6, let me see, 1 2 3 4 5 6.5 inches in length. All right, so I took 2 sheets of paper, cut them together on my trimmer, and I've got 3 1/4, just over 3 1/4 by 6.5 inches, or as I said to you, 17 centimeters by 9. All right, and I've got 6 sheets here now. And as I said, because I want to write my recipes on these, I am not going to wanting to be able to remove them, so I'm keeping them in here. You could, if you wanted to make this as a notepad, stick in those sheets of paper and then use a punch and punch holes through there, and that way you're able to put a ribbon through there or a closure so that you can replace them. But for me, because it's going to be family recipes, I'm going to make this a permanent structure, a feature in here. All right, so you've got your 6 sheets of paper. Make sure they're nicely lined up like that. I have slightly distressed the edge of the top one there. All right, so I'm going to then fit that into the top like that. Make sure I've got it lined up more or less, right? pull that down a bit, and I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to just move that over there. And I've got a couple more of these little clips. I do love these clips. They are quilting clips, and I use them to keep everything together. It helps me stay ordered. So I do have them all over the place on my desk. Right, so we've got this lining up here, and I'm just getting this lined up because I'm going to stitch here in a moment. Right, now remember, this is a pocket. You don't want to be stitching down this side here. We're going to put a journal card in there. But you do want to come down about, let's say, about a ½ an inch, or, you know, 1.5 centimeters down there. The journal card's slightly wider than that, so before you go and stick this down or stitch it, just take note of how high that's going to come. All right, so it doesn't matter because we will be stitching lace there, but I do want to stitch across it just to keep them all in place. Now you could use glue. You could glue each one of these sheets down at the top underneath this flap. You could glue this bit closed. You're leaving that open, and you could just glue the bottom section there. That's already folded, so you wouldn't need to glue there. So you could use glue as well if you don't have a sewing machine. All right, so what I'm going to go and do is I'm going to go and stitch this. I start over here, make a double stitch, go around the top there, right across there, coming down to halfway, and then I'm going to stitch it across there as well. I'm going to show you what it looks like in a moment, so I'll see you back here now. Okay, so you can see I started over there, did a double stitch, went right round, and then came down and sewed straight across there. So I've secured my papers in that way. All right, so everything is nicely secured, so we can progress on. So I've got a little bit of lace. This is a beautiful powder blue lace from Plum Boutique. I absolutely love it. It's cotton lace and matches perfectly with what I've got here. So I'm going to just stick that down at the top here. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac glue here, just so that I you know, ensure that it sticks nicely. Use whatever you would normally use. So I'm putting a little bit of glue across here, using the stitch line as a guide really. So there we go. And then I'm going to just stick that just on underneath that line there, like that. So it's a perfect guide for me. Right, and then I just want to trim off the edge here. And there we go. So we've got a nice neat edge, and the same over here, which is pretty neat anyway. All right, so we've got that bit in place. Now I've got one of my the lovely lavender bit, which is in pink, and I'm going to use my art glitter glue purely because it's got the fine nib, and it just is my go-to with any kind of die cut. You just I didn't press this down enough. There we go. Okay, so just put a little bit of glue on there, and the nib does help you to navigate this a lot easier. Make sure it all sticks down. So I hope you guys are having a lovely Sunday. It's not too cold or too hot, depending where you live. It is my tree still looking quite bare, although all the birds are waiting there for their breakfast. So I'll have to make sure I visit down there and feed them. There's about 30 of them sitting in the tree waiting ever so patiently there, and I do go through a lot of bird seed. Right, so we've got our little lavender bit stuck on there, bringing in some of the pink. I've got my little pastel butterfly. I've taken the smallest one, and I'm just going to put some glue on that as well, and then just stick that at the bottom over here. All right, so we've got that. We have got then one of the sentiments, happiness is homemade. Oh, it is. And when you have some homemade cake or biscuits or anything homemade, to me is delicious. You know, I prefer that to shop bought. Okay, so we're going to stick this over here. This is my Baking Bliss little sentiments, which I love. I'm going to stick on these little flowers from the spring foliage die that I like to use for this because it's so delicate and perfect for this kit. I've really enjoyed using this. It's going to probably be one of my firm favorites again. I'm going to just stick this over there and put a little blue one on as well. This is from the polka dot background page. I've been using all my little scraps to cut out little flowers, and that's been really useful. So you can see I've got loads of them collecting in here from all the scrappy bits that I've been using. So we've got that there. I can put on a little pearl. So we just put a little spot of I nearly said ink glue there, and just one of these tiny little pearls. And you can get these from any craft store. I think I got these from, I would have got these from Amazon because I don't really have a craft store near me. But, you know, nothing wrong with that. And then again, just fussy cutting out some of the elements from the one background page in my journal pages kit. So I've got the chef's hat, okay, yeah, which I've cut out from, again, from the scrappy bits. I want to just put that just over the edge there. And then just the little icing tube with as well. I'm just using up all those bits to decorate things as you do. And yeah, I'm going to just put that like that over there. All right, so we've got that all done. How quick was that? Nothing to it really. All right, so just taking one of my journal cards. I've used this one, which is from my add-on kit. I've put in one of the tabs from the add-on kit, a little eyelet, and a little bit of the beautiful gingham, rustic gingham ribbon from Plum Boutique, which I love. I'll back all mine onto the lacy sheet paper. It's easy to write on, and it fits in with this lovely bakery theme. So, you know, that's perfect. And then I'm going to just slide that into the pocket we've made over there like that. And that goes in really easily. And there you have it. Right, a great addition to your journal page. So we've got our one over here. And that's just another one. Make great happy mail for somebody, and they can put it into one of their journals as well. Okay, guys, thank you so much for spending some time on a Sunday. I hope you sat and watched along with a nice hot drink, or a cold one if that's what's needed. I look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday again with another little project to use in your journal. Have fun on Sunday, or if you're in Australia or on the New Zealand eastern side, it's probably Monday. So I look forward to seeing and hearing from you guys in the Facebook group soon. Thank you then. Bye-bye.